Durant Delmonte, the consumer law expert.
I was all in, guys. I was all in to go to school, get a job, go for retirement. 40 years down the line, I was with it. House, white picket fence, 3.5 kids and a dog. Like, I was all with it. Until I realized that I will always be a slave to someone else. So until you realize that they're paying you just enough not for you to quit, and you're doing just enough not for you to get fired, you'll realize that, hey, at what point can I control my own income? Why do I have to work a whole year for $100,000 where the first 4 months I work for free because the government took that part of my check?
To another episode of the Decide to Finish show. You know, this is not a normal show. It's not a normal podcast where we sit in the studio and we get 2 microphones and we talk out the side of our neck. Nah, we actually have a show. You know what I'm saying? We amongst the people, amongst the energy. We build a community. And you know, that's what I'm all about. What better way to build a community than to be amongst the people? So today, we're going to be amongst the Tampa Bed-Stuy Block Party, and we're going to be amongst the Juneteenth Layout Festival. Shout out to the community organizers that are putting on these events. I have a brother who is a 9-figure earner, giving y'all the credit game today. So pay attention to all of these facts. We're going to get into this, man. Story King Brent, Decide to Finish. Shout out to the finishers out there.
What's going on, guys? For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm your favorite consumer law expert, Durant Delmonte. I'm here to teach y'all about consumer law, get to know the neighborhood, see what these people know about credit, and basically give gems on how we can set them up for a better financial future. Because whether you want to believe it or not, this is the future. Everybody that's there right now, they're on their way out. This is the new wave of the future. So we got to be educated, we got to have the right information, and we need access to capital in the form of credit. So let's go.
Now, this is a black intellectual. This brother read over 140 books. I had to ask him, yo, how did you do that?
Yeah, so I did that back in 2020 when I just started my journey. See, a lot of people overlook the part where you invest into yourself, and there's no greater investment than investing in yourself. Self-development for any new aspiring and up-and-coming entrepreneur or business owner is key, because if your mind ain't right, your finances ain't gonna be right either. So I use that as an opportunity not only to learn a high income skill, but to emancipate myself from mental slavery. Because it's not until we learn how to really leverage OPM, other people's money, can we be financially free.
Additionally, since he focuses on credit and he focuses on our community so much, I wanted to know, why do we have such a poor relationship with credit as a people? And how can we get over this, man? Let's get into it.
One of the most important things we have to take into consideration is, as a black and brown community, what were we actually told about credit? Like, the answer is nothing, right? We were told, cut the credit cards up, don't use the credit cards for anything, credit is bad, don't use it. We were told all the negatives about someone who was misinformed about the informed use of credit. They used it wrong and they got penalized. And when I say penalized, you had bad credit, everything was expensive. Now, Hosea 4:6, right? My people are destroyed because of a lack of information. So if my people are educated, that means my people won't be destroyed. So what that simply means is, if we educate our black and brown sisters, if we are the educated consumer, if we become the consumers who know how to leverage OPM, other people's money, you would see that these businesses here, instead of them bootstrapping and coming out of their savings to get their boots, to get their stance, to get their business up and going, they would invest in fixing their personal credit. By fixing their personal credit, they can leverage personal credit into business credit. After accessing business capital, they can use that to fund their businesses either on a net 30, a net 60, a net 90, either one, and you will find out that they'll be able to keep more money in their pocket because their savings don't have to be used for inventory when they can have access to more capital, business lines of credit to super grow their business, get their marketing done, get their promotional done, and guess what? Be the best that they can be. I get asked a lot of times, Daraine, are you a lawyer? The answer to that is no, I am not a lawyer. For any financial advice, go seek an accountant or a CPA or your lawyer, all right? What I am is a consumer law expert. So what does that mean? It means I love reading laws and I use laws and leverage the law to help people get their credit right. Over 42 million Americans, right? In the last 6 months, they suffer from late payment. What does this mean? It means that probably if you're watching this episode, you might have a late payment somewhere. It is not the end of the world, and you don't need to send out a goodwill letter to get late payments deleted. So, I've created a guide that you can use to delete late payments. Not only that, I'm also going to be teaching y'all how to get paid for late payments. I bet y'all never heard that one before, but I've cracked the code to learning how to get paid for negative items on your credit. So when it comes to the late payment, now all you got to do is text the word late payment. Late payment. So you're going to text the word late payment to 917-993-5238. So that's text the word late payment to 917-993-5238. Late payment should not be the reason why you got denied. And remember this, one late payment can drop your credit score up to 192.5 points. I'm Jamaican, as y'all can tell by my island boy accent. I'm a real island boy, straight from Jamaica. I've been in the US 14 years now, and I believe that the financial space is a space that more black educators need to be in because our people need to be educated, and I don't see why we should wait for somebody else to come and save us when we have more than enough capable, reliable, and trustworthy people that can get the job done. At what point do we say, yo, I'm gonna hold me accountable? So that's what I did, and that led to a change in mindset, right? A paradigm shift where I went on deployment. I studied guys for a whole year, reading 140 books. I was studying, I was building me because the old me had to die. Like this new me could not exist if the old me was still present. So he had to get out of there. I had to evict the old me, right? And by doing that, I was able to renew myself through a new mind, because be ye renowned through a new mind, and through a new mind can you have a new way of looking at your life. So that's what I did. And that led to a calling that's even bigger than I am, because now I serve millions. There's millions of people that's been consuming my content, that's been using the information, getting their self right, getting their personal credit right, getting access to capital, and just being the amazing and brilliant business owners that they are. A lot of times we think we get into things for ourselves, not knowing that there's a whole bigger calling out there for you. And I answered mine, and I challenge you. What's your calling? There's people that you're here to serve, books that you're here to write, songs that you're here to sing, music that you're able to play. But because of the environment that you're in, people, they're not conducive for your growth. Sometimes you gotta leave. You gotta leave, because like you will not grow to your full potential in the environment in that you were born in. You have limited experience, and you must go out there. You must go face adversities. You must go get stronger. You need to go hunt. You need to know what it's like to be
Fix your
in a
credit.
yeah. Well, I know you. Yeah. All is well? Good, good. Blessings. I appreciate it. No, keep rolling. Keep rolling.
So this is what I'm talking about, man. Organic community. This brother saw us filming. He came right up to us and he recognized bro from the homeland. So they had a lot of different plays going on. And I had to cut the cameras because they were discussing some real good game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an overview of what they talked about. I'm going to give you 3 main points. All right, the first one, influencer marketing. All right, you got to make a list of 200 influencers for whatever your business is. Reach out to them. Some of them you might have to pay for. Some of them might do it for free. But you want to get a list. You want to dedicate yourself to that list and make sure you're reaching a certain part of that list every single week. Make an Excel spreadsheet, make a graph, and use these influencers to build your community organically or paid, either one. Number 2, run ads. So when you reach out to those influencers and they make content on whatever service or product that you're providing, run ads behind that and focus on how you can get the most out of that content. All right. You want to save that content too. Make sure you put it in a hard drive so that way you can repurpose it forever. Number 3, don't segment yourself. If you have, for instance, a black-owned business, that doesn't mean that you can only serve black people. You know, there's 8 billion people in the world. Every single person is your customer. Do not limit yourself. Those are 3 things.
Yo, we come from
The same place.
same corner of the
Oh
world.
my God, bro.
Damn, do your thing. I do business.
A lot of people don't want to hear this, but mentors are the shortcut to success. Like, there's no going around it. So when we talk about mentors, right? You're talking about someone who's gone where you want to go. They've done the things that you want to do. They have the experience that you don't have yet. And they basically took all the hits before you. So why would I want to go 3 years figuring something out when I can pay a mentor who's been down that road to teach me all the lessons, what not to do, most importantly, and then what to do. So I'm a firm believer of mentors, because if it wasn't for mentorship, like in the last 3 years, I've spent close to $400,000 on just mentorship alone, but that has helped me make over $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So people look at it as, oh, you know, I'm gonna pay this person. No, I'm investing in myself through someone else, because I am leveraging their skills, their knowledge, their wisdom to make sure that I don't make certain mistakes and I don't get jammed up. And if I get jammed up, I have someone with experience that I can turn to. So do I believe in mentorship? I do. So when it comes to FICO, I know a lot of you got a lot of questions. What is this FICO? Why does this 3 score controls my whole life? So I wrote a book on leveraging FICO. You're good. I wrote a book on leveraging FICO, basically breaking down the credit industry. So for those of you that want to learn about FICO, how to maximize on your credit, and how to really structure the profile, my FICO ebook of how I moved from a 504 to an 805 FICO score, and just unlocking the power of FICO. So all you guys gotta do is FICO, F-I-C-O. Text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. Text the word FICO to 917-993-5238. Get the FICO ebook, start repairing, rebuilding, destroying your own credit. Listen, it's your credit, it's your responsibility.
Что ты знаешь? История короля Бента.
When we talk about the 5 factors of credit, we need to comprehend who's the leader in this space, right? So, right now, predominantly, there's 2 major scoring models. We have Vantage, and then we have FICO, Fair Isaacs Corporation. Fair Isaacs Corporation, FICO, is the leader in this space. So, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, they use banks, auto dealerships. 95% of all institutions in America use what is called the FICO scoring model. Now we have FICO 2, FICO 3, FICO 4, FICO 5, FICO FICO 8, FICO 9, FICO 10, and 10T. It's a lot of them, right? I almost forgot one of them. FICO 8 and FICO 9, those are normally used. So it has 5 basic breakdown, right? And the 5 basic breakdown, we have payment history. Payment history occurs for 35% of your credit. Then we got utilization. Utilization is about 30%. You got the age of your credit. Age of your credit is 15%. Then we got new credit, which is 10%. And we got mixture of credit. So from 300 to 850, it gives us 550 points. What does this mean? In order for you to get perfect credit, you need to maximize 550 points. Follow me. Each percentage is now broken down into what is called credit score points, right? So follow me again, I'm about to get nerdy, all right? So your 35% for your payment history is equivalent to 192.5 points. Your utilization for 30% is 165 points. Your age, which is that 15%, accounts for 82.5 points. And then we have new credit, which is your 10% equal to 55 points, mixture of credit, 10%, 55 points. Together, that gives you a 550 point breakdown, and that's what you need to maximize to have perfect credit. So, from 300 to 850, where the closer to 850 you are, the better your credit is. The lower you are to 300, the worse your score is. So that's the basic breakdown of credit and its 5 factors. A few years ago, right? My mom, I think her birthday was coming up, and she had asked me for some money. So I said, no, I'm not sending it. I said, what I want instead is for you to give me a business plan. And with this business plan, I'll fund the business so the business pays you forever and you never have to ask me for money again. Right? So it took like about a week, 2 weeks. She came in, she's like, oh, I want to put a taxi cab on the road, and it's going to cost this amount, and I'll be the one managing it. So, went to Jamaica, bought the taxi, my mom manages it, my brother drives it, she gets her money every week, I solved that problem, she never asked me for another dollar ever again, and it's still paying her up to today. So, a lot of times when you think you should just give somebody something, I submit to you, challenge a person, right? Solve the problem of money by creating something that can cash flow them forever so they don't have to ask you for anything. I mean, that's what I believe. So take it with a grain of salt, all right? But that's how I solved that problem for my mom. And she gets her money every week. Yo, this coconut water is so good. Y'all can tell I'm a real island boy, right?
This has been an incredible episode of the Decide to Finish show. I brought y'all out to Tama Bed-Stuy. I brought y'all out to the layout. The last important thing that I like to ask my guests, which is the flagship question of the show, is what happened when they made up in their mind that they was done playing around. They said, look, I'm deciding to finish what I started, and this is the point in time when I give up playing with myself, playing with my potential. And they decided to finish.
I was all in, guys. I was all in to go to school, get a job, go for retirement. 40 years down the line, I was with it. House, white picket fence, 3.5 kids and a dog. Like, I was all with it. Until I realized that I will always be a slave to someone else. So until you realize that they're paying you just enough not for you to quit, and you're doing just enough not for you to get fired, you'll realize that, hey, at what point can I control my own income? Why do I have to work a whole year for $100,000 where the first 4 months I work for free because the government took that part of my check? Think about it. You work a whole year, but you gave away 30 to 40% in taxes, which means the first 3 to 5 months are completely free. You gave that to Uncle Sam. Not only did you give it to them, right, but post-tax dollars, you still gotta pay taxes on everything. I had to pay taxes on this coconut water. I had to pay taxes on this Louis bag. I had to pay taxes on this Versace shoe. I had to pay taxes on everything. And guess what? You go to the car dealership, you gotta pay taxes on the car. You go buy a house, you gotta pay taxes on the house. And this is post-tax dollars that you're still being taxed on. So for every dollar you make, you're kind of paying 80 to 90, like 80 to 90 cents of every dollar goes towards taxes, whether you want to believe or admit it or not. So at that point, I realized that, yo, the system is not for me. This system is for the government and the government to be rich off of the system. Because not only did they take taxes out of my paycheck already, but everything else I'm still paying taxes on. Make it make sense. I'm working the dollar and I can only keep 20 cents. I gave away 80 cents in taxes. Makes no sense. So at that point, I decided, listen, this is not the way that it's going to go for me. I'm going to be the educated consumer. I'm going to own the businesses. I'm going to get the tax breaks. I'm going to be the one to change my income. I want to do $100,000 a day, a $200,000 a day, a $1 million a month. I want to do it. You won't be able to do that other job. So whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, either way you're both right. The question is, which one are you going to feed? Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the things and the words that you speak, they manifest in your life. So my challenge to you is this. What seeds are you planting in the garden of your mind? And what fruits are you going to reap later on when that tree grows?
Just know I want the same and I want the best for y'all. If you rocking with this, make sure you follow me on social media, Story King Brent. And make sure y'all tune in and subscribe to the Side of Finish Show. Peace.
All right. So
The rent that Lamont said, if the single